Intro Hook 1. Have you ever had a moment where someone's careless words or actions completely derailed your day? Maybe it was a harsh comment, a thoughtless gesture, or just a tiny inconvenience that seemed to have the power to shake your entire mood. It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the truth. No one, and I mean no one, can truly control your emotions unless you give them that power. Intro Hook 2. What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could remain calm and unshaken no matter what life throws your way? Imagine walking through your day with a sense of inner peace so strong that even the most irritating situations couldn't faze you. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. It's called emotional mastery. Intro Hook 3. In today's episode, we're diving into 10 life-changing lessons that will help you stop letting your emotions control you. These lessons aren't about pretending you don't feel anything or ignoring your emotions. They're about building the mental strength to face life's challenges with grace and clarity. Whether it's dealing with criticism, setting healthy boundaries, or letting go of grudges, you'll discover practical tools that protect your peace and help you live with confidence. Now let's dive into the truth. Your reactions are your choice. Picture this. You're walking through a beautiful park, sipping your coffee, completely at ease. Everything feels just right until suddenly, out of nowhere, someone says something rude or inconsiderate. In an instant, your calm vanishes, replaced by frustration or anger. You find yourself thinking, why did they ruin my day? But here's the thing. They didn't ruin your day. You did. Your emotions are your responsibility, not theirs, not anyone else's. Think about it like this. No one can truly control how you feel unless you hand over that power to them. Imagine you're in a busy city with all the chaos around you. Honking cars, loud conversations, people rushing by. But you're wearing noise-canceling headphones. The noise is still there, but it doesn't reach you. Mastering your reactions works the same way. The noise of other people's behavior doesn't have to invade your peace. You have the power to decide how much of it gets through. A wise quote puts it perfectly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So the next time someone cuts you off in traffic or criticizes you unfairly, pause before reacting. In that pause, you find your power. You can choose calm over chaos, strength over impulsiveness. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine your coworker dismisses your idea in a meeting. Instead of firing back or letting resentment stew throughout the day, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Is this about you, or is it their own stress or biases showing? By reframing the situation, you neutralize its impact on your emotions. The beauty of this approach is simple yet profound. It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about recognizing that your feelings don't have to dictate your actions. Anger, frustration, and disappointment are natural, but they don't have to control what you do next. Here's a simple strategy to start practicing this mindset. 1. Pause and identify when you feel triggered. Name the emotion you're feeling: anger, hurt, irritation. This breaks the automatic cycle of reaction. 2. Ask questions and reflect. Why are you feeling this way? Is it because of the situation itself, or is it how you're interpreting it? 3. Choose your response. Decide how you want to act based on your values and long-term peace, not the immediate emotional reaction. As we explore this mindset further, you'll learn how these tools can not only transform your emotional reactions, but also lead you toward lasting inner peace. Ready to dive deeper? Let's move on, where we'll explore more techniques to strengthen your emotional mastery and reclaim your power. Before we continue, let's remember the key point we just explored. You have the power to control your reactions. Any irritation, anger, or frustration within us can be managed if we choose to face them with calmness and understanding. Remember, when you choose to stay peaceful, you not only master your emotions, but also gain true freedom. Imagine walking through life unbothered by others' actions. The rude stranger, the thoughtless remark, the minor inconvenience. All of them lose their grip on you when you take control of your reactions. In every moment, you have a choice. You can let others dictate your emotions, or you can reclaim your power and protect your peace. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember, their behavior doesn't define you. Your reaction does. And by choosing calm, you gain not just emotional mastery, but true freedom. Next lesson, stop expecting others to behave like you. Have you ever felt disappointed when someone didn't act the way you expected? Perhaps when you needed support, but they weren't there for you? And you think to yourself, why are they being so inconsiderate? I would never treat them this way. But here's the hard truth. People don't operate by your standards or values. They act based on their own experiences, beliefs, and priorities. Expecting others to think, behave, or respond the way you would is like trying to control the weather. It's impossible and only leads to frustration. Think of it this way. Each person is walking their own path, shaped by their experiences, beliefs, and priorities. When someone does something that annoys or hurts you, it's often not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. Let me give you an example. Imagine a coworker who constantly interrupts during meetings. Instead of seething with frustration or trying to teach them a lesson, recognize that their habit has nothing to do with you. By letting go of the expectation that they'll change, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional turmoil. A wise quote sums this up perfectly. Expectations are the root of all suffering. The less you expect others to behave in a certain way, the more you protect your peace. A practical exercise to help you let go of these expectations. 1. Acknowledge your assumptions. When someone upsets you, ask yourself, what was I expecting them to do? Second, challenge that expectation. Reflect on whether it's realistic to expect someone else to act exactly as you would. Shift your focus. Instead of trying to control their behavior, focus on how you can respond calmly and maintain your peace. Think about how liberating this mindset is. The rude stranger, the forgetful friend, the inconsiderate coworker, none of them have the power to disrupt your emotions unless you let them. When you stop expecting others to meet your standards, you take back control of your reactions. In the end, people are who they are, not who you want them to be. Accepting this truth doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior or abandoning your values. It means recognizing that your peace is too valuable to sacrifice for something you can't control. The next time someone disappoints or frustrates you, pause and remind yourself, they're acting from their nature, not mine. And that's okay because I choose my response. By releasing those expectations, you gain freedom, not just from others' actions, but from the emotional weight they once carried. Now, are you ready to continue on your journey of emotional freedom? In the next section, we'll explore the power of letting go of the need to always be right and the strength of understanding. Stay tuned. Remember, we've learned how to step back from the urge to always be right. By choosing peace over pride, we free ourselves from the unnecessary weight of proving our worth in every conversation. Now let's dive into the next crucial lesson on emotional mastery. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of an argument? Whether it's about something as trivial as which route to take, or something deeper, like a disagreement with a close friend or partner. As the conversation heated up, did you feel that strong urge to prove your point? To show them that you were right? We've all been there, holding on to our version of the truth like it's a lifeline. But here's the truth. The need to always be right is exhausting, and more importantly, unnecessary. That need to win every argument or prove your perspective often stems from insecurity. It's as if being wrong threatens our worth or identity. But what if you could let go of that need entirely? What if you could approach disagreements with curiosity instead of defensiveness? Here's a powerful thought to keep in mind. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be at peace? Often our insistence on being right creates tension, damages relationships, and fuels our frustration. On the other hand, letting go of the need to prove yourself allows you to preserve your peace and approach conflicts with understanding. Imagine someone accuses you of something unfairly. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to argue your case, or to point out their flaws in return. But what if you paused and asked yourself, is it worth my energy to prove them wrong? Will this argument change anything important in my life? In most cases, the answer is no. Here's an example. A friend might insist that their way of handling a problem is better than yours. Instead of diving into a debate, you could say, I see where you're coming from, and I respect your perspective. By doing this, you not only diffuse the tension, but you also maintain your calm and avoid unnecessary conflict. The Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu offers timeless wisdom. He who is attached to his views will never grow. Letting go of the need to be right doesn't mean abandoning your principles or silencing your voice. It means recognizing that not every disagreement needs to end in your favor. It's about choosing when to engage and when to step back. Here's how you can start practicing this mindset. 1. Pause before responding. When you feel the urge to argue, take a deep breath and reflect on whether it's worth your energy. 2. Seek understanding instead of trying to win. Ask questions to understand the other person's perspective. This approach often de-escalates conflict. 3. Pick your battles. Save your energy for disagreements that truly matter. Those that align with your values or affect significant outcomes. Over time, you'll find that letting go of the need to always be right brings immense freedom. You'll start noticing how much lighter and calmer you feel when you stop trying to control every conversation or prove every point. Arguments lose their grip on your emotions because you've chosen peace over pride. Remember, your value isn't tied to winning debates or proving your intelligence. It's in how you carry yourself, how you protect your energy, and how you maintain your inner peace. The next time you're tempted to argue, pause and remind yourself, being right won't make me happy, but being calm will. In that moment, you'll experience the true power of letting go. Now let's move on to the next valuable lesson: how to stop letting others' words define your worth Have you ever shared something you were truly passionate about, only to be cut short by a dismissive comment? Suddenly, your confidence evaporates. Why does this happen? It's because we often let others' words define how we see ourselves. Let's explore how to break free from this cycle. Remember, we've already learned how to let go of the need to always be right and how to protect your self-worth. By doing this, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and create space for peace. Now let's move on to the next important lesson about emotional mastery. Focus on what helps you grow and let go of the rest. This may sound simple, but in reality, we often get caught up in arguments or negative feedback that doesn't bring any positive change. When someone criticizes you or when you feel abandoned, insecurity and self-doubt can easily arise. But do you realize that the words of others don't define your worth unless you allow them to? Reaffirm your worth. Remind yourself that your value is not tied to anyone else's approval. Your worth is intrinsic, independent of external validation. Lao Tzu offers another layer of wisdom. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop caring about opinions that don't serve your growth. By doing this, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional weight. The next time someone's words challenge your confidence, pause and ask yourself, am I letting this define me, or can I choose to focus on what I know to be true about myself? In that moment, you reclaim your power and remind yourself that no one's words can diminish your value unless you let them. True strength lies not in avoiding criticism, but in knowing your worth regardless of it. When you stop letting others' words define you, you create space for authenticity, confidence, and peace. And that's a life no one can take from you. Protect your energy by setting boundaries. Picture this. A friend calls you in the middle of your busy day asking for help with something they could probably handle on their own. Or perhaps a coworker dumps a last-minute task on you, assuming you'll say yes. You feel the weight of obligation, but also the frustration of knowing this will disrupt your plans. Why is it so hard to say no? Here's the truth. Protecting your peace requires setting boundaries, and boundaries aren't selfish. They're necessary. Without them, you let others dictate your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Saying yes to everyone else often means saying no to yourself. A powerful reminder comes to mind. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving without protecting your energy, you'll find yourself burned out, resentful, and disconnected from your own needs. Boundaries are how you safeguard your emotional freedom while maintaining healthy relationships. Think about this. When someone oversteps your boundaries, it's not their fault. It's yours for not clearly defining and upholding them. People aren't mind readers, and unless you communicate what you're okay with, they'll continue to push, often unintentionally. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect, and it also teaches others to respect you. Here's an example. Imagine you're always the person your friends go to for advice, even late at night. You want to be supportive, but it's draining your energy. Instead of silently resenting them, you could say something like, I care about you, but I need to keep evenings for myself to recharge. Let's talk tomorrow. This approach is firm yet kind, and it protects your peace without damaging the relationship. Epicurus reminds us, freedom is the ability to live as we wish. Living freely doesn't mean ignoring others' needs. It means deciding where your energy is best spent. Boundaries let you choose your priorities and ensure you're not giving more than you can handle. Here's how to start setting boundaries effectively. 1. Be clear and honest. Communicate your limits calmly and directly. People are more likely to respect boundaries when they understand them. 2. Use I statements. Focus on your needs rather than blaming others. For example, say, "I need some quiet time after work," instead of, "You're always bothering me." 3. Stick to your boundaries. Once you set a limit, uphold it. Consistency shows others that you're serious about protecting your space. Lao Tzu offers another perspective. He who knows when to stop does not find himself in trouble. This wisdom reminds us that knowing your limits and respecting them prevents unnecessary stress and frustration. Boundaries aren't walls to shut people out. They're bridges to healthier, more balanced relationships. Next time you feel overwhelmed or taken for granted, pause and ask yourself, have I communicated my needs clearly? Am I honoring my own boundaries? By setting limits, you free yourself from unnecessary obligations and reclaim your energy for what truly matters. Remember, you're not responsible for managing everyone else's feelings or fixing their problems. Your primary responsibility is to yourself, your peace, your time, and your emotional well-being. So protect your energy, set your boundaries, and watch how much lighter and more in control you feel. Because when you prioritize yourself, you give the best version of yourself to the world. Now let's move on to the next lesson, how to detach from the opinions of others. Imagine you share an idea you're proud of with a group of people, only to be met with criticism or indifference. That sting of disappointment is real, and it can spiral into self-doubt. But here's a question to ask yourself. Why does their opinion carry so much weight? Let's explore how to free yourself from this cycle. Remember, we've already learned the importance of choosing silence over chaos. By responding calmly, you not only protect your peace, but also demonstrate true strength. Silence isn't about weakness. It's about the wisdom of valuing your peace over the need to retaliate. Now let's explore another powerful tool for emotional mastery. Imagine you're having one of those days where everything seems to go wrong. Your plans fall apart, someone makes a rude comment, and the smallest inconveniences feel unbearable. Anger starts bubbling up, and you think to yourself, why does everything have to be so difficult right now? But what if instead of focusing on everything that's going wrong, you shifted your attention to what's going right? This is where gratitude steps in. Gratitude has an incredible ability to transform anger into calmness, to reframe even the worst moments into opportunities for perspective and peace. Here's a powerful truth. You can't feel grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude works like a mental reset button, pulling you out of the spiral of negativity and reminding you of the good that still exists, even in frustrating situations. Let's consider a simple example. You're stuck in traffic, running late to an important appointment. Instead of fuming at the cars ahead, try this. Take a deep breath and think of 3 things you're thankful for. Maybe it's the fact that you have a car, the opportunity you're heading toward, or even just the music playing on the radio. It might sound small, but this shift can transform your emotional state almost instantly. The philosopher Cicero once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others." Gratitude doesn't just dissolve anger, it builds resilience, fosters patience, and helps you focus on what truly matters. It's a tool you can use anytime, anywhere, to protect your peace. Here's how you can make gratitude a daily habit. 1. Pause and reflect. When anger starts to rise, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, what's one thing I can be thankful for right now? 2. Keep a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that went well, no matter how small they seem. This trains your mind to focus on the positive. 3. Use gratitude as a reframe. When faced with a challenge, think about what you can learn or how the situation could be worse. Gratitude often comes from recognizing what you still have. For example, let's say someone criticizes you harshly. Instead of letting anger take over, try reframing it. I'm grateful for the chance to learn from this feedback, even if it wasn't delivered kindly. This doesn't excuse the other person's behavior, but it keeps you in control of your emotions. The Dalai Lama reminds us, let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present. It's not about denying frustration or anger. It's about choosing to prioritize what uplifts you over what drags you down. The next time you feel anger creeping in, pause and ask yourself, what can I be thankful for in this moment? You'll find that gratitude doesn't just dissolve anger. It empowers you to stay grounded, maintain peace, and reclaim your inner strength. Now that we've learned how gratitude can dissolve anger, let's move on to the next valuable lesson. Responding with silence, not anger. Picture this. You're in a heated argument. Someone says something hurtful or intentionally provocative, and you feel the anger rising. What if, instead of reacting, you simply say nothing? Silence can be one of the most powerful tools you have when dealing with negativity. Let's dive into this next step in mastering emotional responses. As we've explored, silence can be an incredibly powerful response, offering you the strength to rise above negativity and maintain control over your emotions. By choosing silence, you protect your peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. Now let's move on to another powerful tool for emotional mastery: how to reframe criticism. Imagine this. You've just shared an idea that you're truly proud of, maybe at work, with friends, or online, and someone immediately shoots it down with harsh criticism. What's your first instinct? Defensiveness? Anger? It's natural to feel this way when your efforts are met with negativity. But what if you could reframe criticism, not as an attack, but as an opportunity to grow? Criticism, no matter how it's delivered, holds value if you're willing to look for it. It can point out blind spots, challenge your thinking, or even push you to improve. When you shift your perspective, criticism stops being a source of frustration and becomes a tool for self-betterment. Here's an example. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation and a colleague points out several flaws in your work. You could easily dismiss them, thinking, they're just trying to undermine me. Or you could pause and reflect, is there truth in what they're saying? How can I use this feedback to improve? By choosing the second approach, you turn what might feel like an attack into a stepping stone toward personal growth. A wise thought perfectly captures this. Criticism, like rain, should be gentle enough to nourish growth without destroying roots. This doesn't mean that all criticism is valid or worth your attention. Some people criticize out of envy, ignorance, or malice. The key is to filter what you hear, keeping what's constructive and discarding what's not. Here's how to handle criticism with grace. 1. Pause before reacting. When faced with criticism, take a moment to breathe. This helps you avoid reacting emotionally and gives you time to collect your thoughts. 2. Evaluate the source. Consider who's giving the feedback. Do they have your best interests in mind? Is their perspective informed or biased? 3. Find the lesson. Even poorly delivered criticism can carry a valuable insight. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Let's take a more personal example. Imagine a family member makes a critical remark about your choices, maybe your career or lifestyle. Instead of arguing or shutting down, you could say, "I hear your concerns. I'll think about what you've said." This response shows maturity and gives you the opportunity to reflect later without escalating the conflict. Epicurus offers a timeless reminder. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses for what is said about you, but answer, "He does not know my other faults, or else he would not have mentioned only these." This Stoic wisdom reminds us not to take criticism too personally. Instead, we should see it as part of the journey towards self-improvement and growth. Now that we've learned how to reframe criticism as a tool for growth, let's move on to the next powerful lesson: how to detach from the need for external validation. Imagine sharing an idea you're proud of, only to receive criticism instead of support. Why does their opinion carry so much weight? Let's explore how to free ourselves from seeking approval and rely on our own inner compass instead. As we've explored, criticism, when viewed from the right perspective, becomes a tool for self-improvement. It's not about being defensive or rejecting feedback. It's about using it as a mirror to understand ourselves better and grow stronger. Now let's dive into another powerful concept: the art of letting go. Imagine holding on to a hot coal, determined to throw it at someone who hurt you. But while you're waiting for the right moment, the coal keeps burning your hand. Anger, grudges, and resentment work the same way. They harm you far more than the person who caused your pain. The real strength lies not in holding on, but in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means releasing the emotional weight that drags you down, freeing yourself from the control of the past. When you let go, you reclaim your energy, your peace, and your ability to focus on the present. As the Buddha beautifully said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Think about a time when someone wronged you. Maybe it was a betrayal, an unfair judgment, or an unkind word. How much time did you spend replaying that moment in your mind? How much energy did you waste imagining confrontations or seeking revenge? Letting go is the antidote to this endless cycle. It allows you to move forward instead of staying trapped in the past. Here's an example. Imagine you're at work and a colleague takes credit for your idea. You could spend days stewing over the injustice, letting it affect your mood and productivity. Or you could let it go, recognizing that your worth isn't tied to one moment of recognition. By choosing the latter, you protect your peace and focus on what truly matters, your growth and future opportunities. Lao Tzu offers profound wisdom. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Letting go isn't just about releasing anger or resentment. It's also about letting go of perfectionism, fear of failure, or the need for control. It's about embracing life as it is, with all its unpredictability, and finding freedom and acceptance. Here's how to start practicing the art of letting go. 1. Pause before reacting. When something triggers you, take a deep breath. This gives you space to decide whether it's worth holding on to or if it's time to release it. 2. Let go of the need for perfection. Recognize that not everything in life will go according to plan, and that's okay. Perfection is an illusion. Embrace the beauty in imperfection. 3. Release the fear of failure. Fear can paralyze you and hold you back from taking action. Let go of the fear of failing, and you'll unlock your true potential. By learning to let go, you will find peace in acceptance, strength in resilience, and freedom in living fully in the present moment. Now that we've explored the power of letting go, let's move on to the next important lesson: mastering the ability to forgive. Imagine holding on to a grudge for years, thinking that by doing so, you're punishing the other person. But in reality, it's you who's suffering. Let's dive into how the act of forgiveness can set you free. We've learned how letting go of the past, letting go of anger and regret, can truly free you from unnecessary emotional weight. By making this choice, you reclaim your peace and take control of your emotional well-being. Now let's dive into the final crucial lesson on emotional mastery: knowing when to release what no longer serves you. Continuing with the final page. Acknowledge your feelings. Suppressing emotions only makes them stronger. Allow yourself to feel hurt, anger, or disappointment without judgment. It's natural to experience these emotions, but the key is not to let them define you or control your actions. When you feel hurt, angry, or frustrated, give yourself permission to feel it. Feel it fully, but don't let it take over. Once you've allowed yourself to feel, the next step is to reframe the situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow stronger because of it? Instead of staying stuck in the negative emotions, focus on what the situation can teach you. This shift in perspective allows you to turn painful moments into opportunities for growth. The next step is to focus on the present. Letting go is a choice you make for yourself, not for the other person. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of past hurts and choosing to shift your attention to the here and now, where your true power lies. Think of letting go like releasing a balloon. The longer you hold on to it, the more it strains your hand. But when you let it float away, you feel lighter and freer. Life becomes less about what happened and more about what's possible. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Do not be disturbed by what is outside your power. Let it go, and you will find peace." This doesn't mean letting people walk all over you or ignoring injustice. It means choosing where to direct your energy. By letting go of what you can't change, you create space for what you can: a brighter, calmer, and more fulfilling life. So the next time you find yourself clinging to anger or regret, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? What would my life look like if I let this go? The answer will guide you toward emotional freedom, because true strength isn't in holding on. It's in knowing when to release. And when you do, you'll discover that the lighter you feel, the stronger you become. And there you have it, 10 powerful lessons to help you master your emotions and stay unbothered, no matter what life throws your way. These aren't just ideas, they're tools you can use every day to protect your peace, build resilience, and take control of your reactions. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress your feelings or become indifferent. It's to respond to life's challenges with clarity and strength. Emotional mastery isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to react. The power to stay calm, centered, and free lies entirely in your hands. As you move forward, take these lessons with you. Practice pausing before you react. Set boundaries that protect your energy, and let go of the things and people you can't control. Each time you choose peace over anger, you take one step closer to living the unshakable life you deserve. If you found value in this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need a little extra calm in their life. And if you have your own tips or experiences about staying unbothered, I'd love to hear them. Drop a comment below. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, emotional freedom isn't a destination, it's a practice. So keep showing up for yourself, stay mindful, and keep growing stronger every day. Until next time, take care and stay unbothered.